Morning, boys and girls. Thank you so much to all of you that I've heard from. Um, I want us to just keep moving through this week the best that we can. If you have any holdups, just let me know so that I can help you. But other than that, well done to everyone who is moving through some of the work at their own pace and then showing me it as they're going. So today we're just going to carry on where we left off yesterday. I'll share the screen just to remind us of some of the things that we're going to be doing. Today I'm going to be meeting with group 2 and group 3 and group 4 at 9:30 and 10:30 for a literacy Zoom with them. And then you're also going to be in Zoom with Miss Rattery for art at 1, and then Miss Bridgewater for guidance at 1:30. I might just double check with Miss Bridgewater to see if perhaps you can change it to 2. So stay posted for that. So it might change to 2 o'clock, but I'll have to double check with her just so that you have a little breather in between. And then what you're doing today is you're carrying on with your genre study. So yesterday you were looking at possible settings. Today you're going to use a story mountain to organize your plan. Now, by now, most of you have done story mountains at least twice. So we know that in a story mountain, you're including the main characters and the introduction with the setting, the main events, the climax, so that's where your big problem occurs, and your resolution or your conclusion. So you're including all the parts of your story, and you're going to be using that, as we have before, as a map when you start drafting next. So as much information in your story mountain, the better. But you basically want a plan out of your whole story, what's going to happen in it, what the main problems are, what the characters are doing, who they are, where things are taking place, and kind of lead up events and events that lead to the conclusion. So that I don't think I have to give much more information to, because by now you should be able to do that fairly easily, particularly if you've done a good job yesterday making sure you know who your character is and where your story is mainly going to be taking place. The second thing I'd like you to do is move on, because yesterday you finished fluency, and do the first page of probing questions. So I'm just going to go to that. I think it's in this one. And I don't want you to rush through all of these at once. I've purposefully made it so that you can do the first page tomorrow and then the next bit after that. So there are 3 on here, and we've seen some of these before. So we've seen what's the same, what's different. So you're looking at these decimals and fractions, and you're comparing them. So you can compare them as they are now, and you can also convert them into their matching fractions or percents and compare them using a place value chart or diagrams. So I don't want to just see 0.1 is smaller than 0.25. I'd like you to show me how. So if you were saying that, you would show 0.25 on a scale, or on a number line, sorry, and or you might show it in its tenths or hundredths. So whatever you say that's the same and different, I'd like you to back up with some reasoning there. So just like always with probing questions, we don't just write the simplest answer. We actually try and explain ourselves a little bit to prove that we are a score 3 and we understand. Always, sometimes, or never. So this is the one where you're saying it either always happens, sometimes happens with proof, or never happens. Percentages are fractions with a denominator of 100. So the denominator, just a reminder about that vocab word, the denominator is the number at the bottom. So percentages are fractions with a denominator of 100. You can prove whether that's always true, sometimes true, or never true. Convince me that half cannot be written as 1 2/10. So you've got the 1 on the top and the 2 on the bottom. So why can't it be written as 1.2? They're the same numbers. How come? And prove what it should look like and how it shouldn't look like this. Okay, so those are the 3 problems. Remember, I am not going to be accepting just your simplest form. I want you to do explaining. That is the reason I've just told you to do 3 today, and you'll do those 3 properly and in depth. Then you can move on to the next ones tomorrow. If you feel like I've done this properly and in depth, and it took me not too long, then by all means move on, because some people will move it through it quicker and need less time to think through it. Other people, the majority of people, will need time to lay this out properly and really pick apart these problems. So that's what I'd like you to do today in math. Oops. And then you're carrying on with your social studies work from this week, continuing. You've got 2 more days to have it finished. And if you haven't done any of the science, then please get started on that, and that would be great. So all things that I know that you'll be able to do, particularly the story mountain and the probing questions, you are in the habit of doing those at school. So I don't expect you to need a huge amount of help with those. But if you do, just get in touch with me. But most of that stuff you should be on your way to doing without much help. But if you need help, please let me know. I don't want you to think that you can't. You absolutely can ask for help. Okay, so I'll see group 3 and 4 in a little while, and the rest of you'll be seeing Miss Rattery soon all together. Have a good day.